Alright, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to another video here on the channel, and today unfortunately we have a pretty dark and sinister topic at hand, and this is something I feel like you guys have probably heard about through the news already. Unfortunately, a few days ago, the plague of mass shootings here in the United States continued, and a school called Oxford High School was shot up by a 15-year-old. I don't want to say the kid's name or anything. I really, I don't want to focus on the person responsible for this any more than I already have to. I believe it was the deadliest shooting at a K-12 school in America since May 2018. The police say that it was entirely premeditated. Apparently, the kid responsible for it had been, just in the few days beforehand, been drawing things like guns and saying that the voices in his head, wouldn't stop, and was talking about how he was drawing all these gory things for a video game he was developing. The school said that a teacher caught him searching for ammunition on his phone in the middle of class, and actually, in fact, when his parents were alerted of this, his own mother texted her son that she wasn't mad at him for looking up ammunition in class, but he had to quote-unquote learn how to not get caught. The kid has gone on to be charged with murder charges, terrorism charges. The parents even actually are now facing charges for their role in not taking care of their weapon properly and allowing their child to carry out such a horrific act inside of a school. I mean, the fact of the matter is people died, and I feel like this, if anything, shouldn't be turned into one of these situations where people are immediately pointing the finger. I mean, we know who was responsible for this. Obviously, this kid is, and he should be held to the fullest extent of the law. I think I can, have everyone agree when I say I hope this kid genuinely never finds peace again in his life. I hope that for the rest of his life, he's haunted by the memories of what he did inside of those school hallways. But unfortunately, we've gotten to this point now, just like it seems like every time one of these situations happens, where the media, instead of blaming the person responsible, or in this situation, what they deem to be the people responsible, instead of having a legitimate conversation about the situation and how can we fix it, it's been turned into a tit-for-tat against video games again. Now, obviously, I've made a lot of videos over the years, basically in this little mini-series called It's the Video Game's Fault, and it's been just a series in which we go through and we talk about situations where instead of doing what is obviously right, society oftentimes loves to hold video games accountable for things that they aren't even remotely responsible for. Now, in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at a special look by Inside Edition into the person who was accused of shooting this school up and whatnot, so I have a massive problem with the way that they represented the person responsible for this, and also the way that they almost insinuate that video games are somewhat partially responsible for what happened. As you're going to see from the video clip, they literally quote him as being a neighborhood kid, he'd shoot hoops with the neighbors and everything, just a simple, ordinary kid in the neighborhood. But then when it comes to his playing of video games, they make it out as if he was basically being trained by an Al-Qaeda terror cell. They show a cover of Grand Theft Auto, and from the way that they perceive it, it almost seems, you would think that, you were looking at the sole reason everything happened, the way that it did. Now let me tell you what really happened here, okay? School officials had seen all kinds of warning signs. Students had seen all kinds of warning signs. Apparently, the kid who did this literally was posting vague threats on his social media, and there's reports that kids inside the school that recorded the incident and everything literally overheard other students saying shit like, oh, well, he really kept his word. Oh, he really did do it after all. So all these people had knowledge of what was going on. This kid was flashing all the warning signs, drawing guns, saying, he wanted to kill people, and the voices in his head wouldn't stop, making threats on social media. But apparently it's the video game's fault that this happened, that all of this went down because, well, he ended up playing violent video games. Take a look.
One post from Ethan Crumbley declares, "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds. See you tomorrow, Oxford." The quotation can be found in a gory video game.
I am become death, the destroyer of worlds.
Several years ago, Crumbley made this video showing off his collection of violent games.
Got Battlefield 4. Comment if you want to play that one.
I hopefully will get to another Nazi Zombies video.
See, it's insane because I don't want to defend this kid by any stretch of the imagination. He is a piece of shit and he deserves to rot in hell. But, they take a small clip out of this video or whatever that this kid recorded talking about, Battlefield 4. He was gonna play Nazi zombies from Call of Duty in another video. And it's so clear that what they're doing is purposefully missing the point here. The kid clearly had something fucking wrong with him, okay? I mean, he was deranged, okay? He was able and willing to plan out and do things that no human being ever should be able to fucking do. There's something wrong with him. He is not a normal fucking person, okay? No normal person would ever even think of doing the actions that this kid thought about doing. Yet, of course, you know, the first thing they jump to and ignore is the fact that, yeah, he's messed up. There's something wrong. He's not a normal kid. Nobody that can willingly gun down as many of their classmates as possible is a fucking normal kid. It's just it's that simple, okay? I mean, there's no other debate to it. But his playing of video games didn't lead him down this route. It didn't lead him to this path. It's incredible how, you know, the argument always gets made that, oh, violent video games are responsible for these tragedies. Yet tens of millions of people all across the world can play them, right? And have this problem not even a fucking come into their head, right? In almost all the other countries on planet Earth, things like mass shootings simply don't fucking happen. And if they do, it's like a once a decade kind of thing. But in America, unfortunately, it's like hundreds a year. So it's not video games. We've ruled out that variable. It's a global thing. It's not like people only in America play video games, especially these violent ones. So that variable's already been proven wrong. And if that basic logic isn't enough to prove it wrong, why don't you listen to the countless studies done by actual fucking scientists that prove that video games do not cause people to be more violent in real life? Even the most basic first grade logic can disprove this fucking notion that they're trying to insinuate in this video, but even if you want to get technical, the science also disproves it.
This video shows him shooting hoops with his buddies, a regular kid from the neighborhood.
Today we are doing a little basketball game.
The fact that that was even scripted into this fucking, I guess, inside look at who did this is absolutely appalling to me. It's mind-blowing that they found this appropriate to say and show. This kid maliciously took the lives of multiple children. Not only that, but he has now permanently scarred hundreds, if not thousands of kids, depending on the school size, all of the faculty who worked there, everyone who's related to the children who go there that had to wonder if their fucking kid was gonna die, or their brother was gonna die, or their cousin was gonna get fucking killed. They have caused such an immeasurable amount of damage to this entire community. And the first thing Inside Edition decides to really, besides the video games, right, that they could scapegoat, the first thing they really hone in on is, well, he was playing basketball with his friends about 6 years ago, happy-go-lucky kid. He is a fucking murderer. It's that simple. Why would you show this, okay? Everyone who's ever done anything horrible ever has had a lighthearted moment in their life. You could show any terrible human being, here he is spotted when he was 7 years old having an ice cream cone with his pop. But to paint him out like he was this fucking normal happy-go-lucky kid that just, he did something, he turned, man, he became cold. We can't believe that this great young man would have ever have done something like this. It's pretty incredible that, like, all of his classmates could figure it out, right? Like, it seems unsurprised that everything kind of happened the way that it did because he had been making fucking threats on social media and whatnot. But apparently, because, he played basketball with some kids who coincidentally lived near him a couple years ago on YouTube. He look at how happy of a kid this guy was, man. You'd almost never believe that he could be the one who did it, right? And this is my problem with the media. Every time something like this happens, instead of portraying these people as the monsters that they are, instead of portraying these people as the worst of society, people who should be viewed fucking inhuman for the actions that they commit, the first thing the media always does is they go and they get a cute childhood picture of the kid, right? Well, little old Billy Simpson, he was 13 in this picture when he looked so fucking cute. Look at his rosy little cheeks. Then they find some nice, innocent, video of them playing with some friends, or participating in a school event, or opening presents on Christmas or something, something real fucking innocent. And they paint it as he was a great kid whose heart turned cold right at the last second. How could this ever have happened? He was a good boy. These kids are not good fucking kids. It doesn't matter what they did. It doesn't matter how good they were when they were younger. It doesn't matter how much they excelled in school. They're fucking terrorists, and they're horrible people, and they deserve to face what comes to them. It's just mind-boggling to me that instead of actually focusing in on how shitty of a human being this person who could commit such an unspeakable act is, we're focused in on, could Grand Theft Auto 5 turn your kid into the next shooter? Newsflash, no, it fucking can't. And the reason that it can't is because it's a video game. I'm so over this concept that all of this shit happening in real life is caused by this video game. They've been saying this shit since, like, Columbine happened back in 1999 or whatever, right? And it's, what, 2021 by my math now, so I'm just wondering how these people can keep this bullshit up for so long and not just realize the stupidity of what they're saying. But at the same time that they're villainizing an inanimate object, video games in this instance, for something that it has scientifically been proven not to actually be affiliated with, right? At the same time that they're pulling that bullshit for sensationalism and to find a boogeyman in the situation, they depict these kids as basically fucking heroes, right? If the kid's bullied, that's all you hear about after they shoot the school up. Well, the kids at school were bullying him, and he just had enough and he went in there and cut him down, man. It doesn't matter if you're being fucking bullied at school. There's millions of kids who are bullied at school and who live in bad conditions at home or deal with the worst possible outcomes every day of their life, and they never go and do some shit like this. But for some reason, these kids are sensationalized and almost hyped up by the media every time they fucking do this. The first thing that happens, you know, the national news will run a video about, once again, happy-go-lucky kid. Here's his childhood picture. They very fleetingly will ever use the mugshot that depicts them as the fucking person that they actually are now. It's always about who they were when they were 12 or 13. Well, personally, I'm a little over that, right? I'm a little tired of hearing about how great of a kid this kid was. He excelled in school, so, you know, they didn't see it coming. He was never a kid who, you know, really raised any concerns or anything like that. And, yeah, he just started having this fixation, like, what the fuck ever, dude. The kid's a murderer, and it has nothing to do with the fact that he had a goddamn Xbox. It's essentially, you know, always about the video game, but what's funny is, you never really see this about any other forms of media anymore. I mean, I know they used to shit on, like, rap music and Marilyn Manson and whatnot because they were all the devil. It used to be all about your kid can't see a rated R movie, things like that, and I get it, right? That parents, instead of just actually addressing the issues, the reasons that their kids are being fucking killed, it's just easier to blame their video game. But it never does anything to actually address what's happening, you know? And all of this time that gets spent blaming video games for this kind of shit, how many kids do you think are being saved from the next big shooting that happens, right? How many school officials are getting involved with a kid who, you know, might do something like that right now because of the fear from video games? Exactly. It's all just a bunch of bullshit, man, and I know it's a sad topic to talk about and things like that, but, like, I just get so fucking tired of hearing this stupidity and seeing this kind of ignorance be perpetuated by the mainstream media at that. I mean, for God's sake, Inside Edition is a YouTube channel with nearly 10 million subscribers. They have a massive audience. And them perpetuating this kind of dangerous bullshit is the same exact reason why you'll continue to see things like this happen. These kids are idolized, glamorized, and turned into heroes by the media when shit like this happens, and their hobbies are the things that get fucking pointed out and get singled out as the problem. With that being said, though, thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're brand new around here on the channel, follow me over on Twitter and Twitch at @subtooptimus. Make sure to check out Shop Opti down below, and until my next video, guys, this is Optimus, well, tired of hearing this stupid shit, and signing out.